Welcome to this episode of Bible Biker, where we take the Word of God and hit the road. You're watching another episode of Riding with the Word. Well, hello there. Pastor Tim here, coming at you with another episode of Bible Biker, Riding with the Word. And for today's episode, we'll be covering the first chapter of the Gospel of John. And while we're doing that, we're cruising right alongside the New River here, right at the North Carolina-Virginia border. So I hope you enjoy this scenery as we talk about the first chapter of the Gospel of John. And what I love about the Gospel of John is really how it starts. It starts out making it clear as day who Jesus Christ is. So let's get right into it. At the beginning of John, chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word." Now, later on, as we read through the first chapter of John, it's clear that the Word is a reference to Jesus Christ. So when it says the Word, it's referring to Jesus Christ. So it says, "In the beginning was the Word," meaning Jesus was there in the beginning of everything. And it goes on to say, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God," meaning Jesus was with God. But it also says the Word was God. So John is making it very clear to all of us who are reading his book, 2,000 years after the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, that Jesus Christ wasn't just with God, wasn't just there in the beginning, but he was literally God. And he goes on to say the same was in the beginning, and that all things that were made by him, and that there was not one thing that was made that was not made by him. So John makes it clear that Jesus Christ is God. He has always been, and he is the creator, of everything we see. And he is even our creator. He's the one who has given us life. Now he goes on to say that in him was life. All life comes from Jesus Christ. He is the creator of everything. And his life, it goes on to say in the Gospel of John, his life was the light of men. Jesus Christ is literally a light to us all. Without him, there would be no life. There would be no creation. There would be nothing. But everything that has been created by him. And you and I are here because of Jesus Christ. But it goes on to say that in him, in his life, it was the light of men. And it goes on in the very next verse to say, "And that light cut through the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." Now I love this because John here is speaking to the hope that we have in Jesus Christ. Now many of us have experienced dark moments in our life, and maybe you're experiencing one of those now. And certainly throughout the history of mankind, we have gone through some dark times. But even if you have been a blessed individual and you have good health, you have an abundance of wealth, you have a good job, a good family, it doesn't matter how good your life is. At the end of this life, one day, you will have to face the reality that you will pass away. And no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a life you live, no matter how hard you work to secure your future, one day you will perish. And that is a hard truth that we all have to deal with. And the more you dwell on that, the more you realize that without God, our life is meaningless. Everybody's life will end in death. But we have hope in Jesus Christ, and that's what the Gospel of John, particularly chapter 1, is referring to, is that through Jesus Christ's life is a light among men, and that light cuts through the darkness in our life. There is hope through Jesus Christ that no matter what happens in this life, no matter how dark the world is, his light, that is his life, brings us hope, brings us salvation, tells us that there is a future, and that he will cut through the darkness that comes in our life. He will cut through the impending death and destruction that our sin has led to. And through him there is hope, there is life, there is a light in the darkness. And another aspect I love about John's gospel here is that we can look at our life and think about it. You have those dark moments in your life. But when does a light shine the brightest? It shines the brightest in the darkness. And as John says, the darkness can't comprehend it. Nothing can comprehend the greatness of God, the brightness of his light. It will cut through all the darkness and sin and distress we have in this world. His life has shown us hope that there is eternal glory in the kingdom of heaven, hope that the impending death that awaits us all is not the end of our life, but the beginning of our eternity in the kingdom of heaven with Jesus Christ. And I love how the Gospel of John goes on, I believe in verse 14, to say that the Word, again, Jesus Christ, God, was made flesh and dwelt among us. I just love how God has loved us so much that he came to earth to be with us, to save us. He got his hands dirty. He took on the sins of the world. He took on my filth, my darkness, my sin to save me. And that is the light that his life has brought in the darkness of this world. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Bible Biker. I hope you enjoyed this short explanation of what the Gospel of John, particularly chapter 1, really hammers down, that Jesus Christ is our light. His life is the light that cuts through all the darkness in our life. And as always, I'm going to leave you with a few clips of the beautiful scenery around this river here today. And please comment below if you have any comments on this video or any suggestions of any Bible topics we can talk about in the next video, or any roads we can cruise down. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and God bless.